Hello, Internet, and welcome to space and space engineers. So, you may be able to notice that little blue thing behind us, real small in distance, that's Earth. And ahead of us here is Mars, which also kind of looks blue. Whatever. So, last episode, you may have noticed, we left Earth, jumped, and made it most of the way here. So, something to check. How full is our jump drive? 3 minutes until it's fully recharged. I don't know quite how far away Mars is right now. Earth there is notably almost 1,400 kilometers away. So it was a good first jump. Let's go ahead. Ooh. That uses all the power real quick. For not a lot of oomph. Well, we'll have to figure out how to fix that. I guess our reactor isn't on, is it? Oh, no, it is. So that's just how this thing operates. I guess it was better when the jump drive wasn't charging, because the jump drive is currently drawing a good bit of power right now to charge itself. So we'll just kind of cruise along. We don't even have to be in the ship, really. Or driving, at least. We probably do want to stay inside the ship. Oh. And it looks like I did not turn the gravity on. Ah. Uh-oh. Well, we can solve this. Gravity on. Okay, it didn't kill our power to turn the gravity on. So now we have that. That's better. Where it was, yeah, right in here. Okay. So, what can we do? So what I'm going to do here, I want to shrink the range a bit so that it's not wasting gravity. I basically only want to cover where I intend to be walking. So, and I also have to account for the fact that the things turn sideways. So, depth is the width of the ship. Set that to 50. Height can probably be 20. Width, 75. Let's see if I find any places where there's no gravity. This would be okay. There's some there. It'll be easier to check outside of the ship, I think. Oh, here we are in space. Gravity drive makes it a little bit more reasonable. Or not gravity drive, the gravity generator. Still pretty cool sight. Okay. I am damped to the ship, so that's good. Okay. A little bit of gravity out the front. Cuts off kind of right about the edge of here, which should be fine. In theory, I don't walk on that. Does it go to the back? Yes. Comes off the back a bit. It should cover all of over here. Oh, yeah. Because the thing is off-center, because the entire ship is off-center. Okay. Well, that works. I could even drop the gravity a little bit less long if I wanted, but honestly, it's good enough. I don't really care too much. Because it doesn't use a ton of power. Yeah. Now we just cruise, I guess. I will say, This is something in hindsight I probably should have done before I started this recording. I should have checked my mod settings to make sure that the various space-based combat mods were working and in this save. Because for some reason, it's been pretty empty up here. And that kind of defeats a lot of the purpose of... Well, not I guess purpose of, but defeats some of the fear and drama I was hoping that would come out of me having to fly through space. Low asteroids. So yeah, I've got all these guns over here. And in my mind, I'd prepared like, okay, well, if I encounter something, I've got to make sure to turn this side, which will expose all the guns, but it also exposes the hydrogen tanks, which are vulnerable. So it's a whole strategic kerfuffle. But it doesn't seem to matter. I'm even to the point where I'm just blatantly calling to the gods that I don't think they can harm me. I am above them. You hear that, Space Engineers gods? Yeah, still nothing. Let's see if that jump drive's charged. It's also one thing, I can't remember if I noted this last episode or not, but, because I don't have a vent in here, and I kind of want it to remain, sealed separately from the ship. Oh. Yeah. Salvage station. That's not very exciting, is it? Because I want this to be a separately sealed area, when I open the airlocks, a little bit of air gets cycled out, which doesn't get restored, so I do have to occasionally open the back door and refill the oxygen in the cockpit, which might be considered a design flaw, but the fact that there's oxygen in the other area to come into the cockpit, I consider a design success. So... Salvage station. Guess I could mess with that if I wanted, but it really, despite all the guns on this thing, it really is not suited for any sort of combat, so I think I'll be better off not risking my neck. But judging by our power draw, it does look like our jump drive is charged. So let's see. It probably won't let us jump. Yep. Angle that so the camera can see it. Yep, cannot be used to jump, so the planet is too close. So we'll dial it back a bit. Try maybe 50%. Nope. 45, nope. Dang, we got most of the way there. Okay, 25% jump. Fire. Ooh. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's bring ourselves to a stop here. In fact, we'll fire the hydrogens. So we're probably close enough now. So I don't want to just land anywhere. What I want is to find somewhere with a decent supply of ice, so that I can refuel the ship and do all that fun without having to travel long distances just to get fuel. Ideally, I have one base that is the ice refinery, as well as all my other refining stuff, that can get me the fuel I need to continue on to, I can't point, I'll point it in post with something, put a little text thingy, future Scott. That green planet up there is our future destination. So, this is our jump off point. We build a little base here, and we keep going. Now, something I did just realize, Mars probably isn't gonna have ice lakes like they have on Earth, because there's no water on Mars, or at least not, you know, liquid water in lake form. So I don't really actually know. My whole idea was that I'd find a nice ice lake and land next to it. I don't know if those exist here. I'm guessing those sort of white spots that go away when I'm in the cockpit, those white spots, I'm guessing are ice. I think some of the lighter spots are actually ore deposits. So I'm curious. Let's see if we can kind of vector our way this away. I don't want to hit gravity yet. Or actually, hold on. What am I doing? We have jump drives. I'm going to see if I can get over this way towards the sun and see if maybe I can spot like a pole. Because I feel like the poles of the planet are going to be the most ice. So let's try that. Yes. See what it looks like with the jump cone kind of off to our side there. Swoop. Okay. Have I horribly overshot the planet? No. I can't see anything over... Ooh, wait. There to the right. See, just on the cusp? That looks like a pole to me. Which would also make a lot of sense because there's the sun. And the sun doesn't tend to orbit around the poles of a planet. Or, I guess, realistically, the poles of a planet don't form where the sun rotates. So let's try over here. In fact, we'll kind of set ourselves as cruising speed. Nope. Angle up a little bit. Yes. One more little micro jump. That should put us over the pole. Or near enough to it. I don't know if I want to be dead on the pole either. Oh, that is a polar ice cap if I've ever seen one. See, I don't know if I want to be dead on it because I don't know if there's ore in the middle of all that ice. So I think I'm going to aim for this edge. Oh, that was a little lag spike. That's disconcerting. I think I'm going to aim for this edge down here. So, let's angle ourselves in. Okay, this is exciting. Put on our dampeners. Burn some more fuel. Okay. We are now falling. And we're in gravity. So, we'll see the challenge here. Well, our first immediate challenge of many upcoming challenges. This thing flew on Earth, so we should be able to fly on Mars. I do expressly remember the hydrogen engines were not enough on Earth to lift it with the cargo it's got on board. I'm pretty sure atmospheric engines work on Mars. Pretty sure. Like 90%. So, if they don't work, we'll have an interesting issue where we may not have enough thrust to actually, well, at least fly. Hopefully we have enough to arrest our descent, which will be a whole different issue. But we will see, I suppose. Uh, let's see if we can line this up. So that should be dead into the planet. We can see by the altimeter spiraling uncontrollably. So that's not actually quite where we want to land. I've got an idea. So we don't really need the eye. Well, they would still work up here a bit. What do I... What shouldn't matter too much? I'm gonna turn... No, because I have to... So how I've set my whole kerfuffle, I've not said anything for the past 3 minutes, I've just mumbled. So the button I have to turn off the reverse thrust so I can glide only works with hydrogen and atmospheric, because it's meant for use on planets. The ion is still useful up here. So if I turn it off, I'll only be using hydrogen. I want to turn it off and then turn off the front thrust so that I can essentially glide in where I want to land and correct my downward velocity. Because right now, we're going mostly forward, but we are going a bit down in relation to the ship. Which is why our endpoint is in the dirt. So, okay, well, let's just do it and kick those on, turn off whatever that does. I think that's worked. So now if I turn that on, yeah, I can direct us towards where I want to go without losing our dive speed. Which, I guess this is where I want. Again, I don't really know. Actually, maybe we'll go up here in the sun a bit. Like right there at that the little river of not water in between where the water is. Because if I'm right, there are some, you may not even be able to see them, some slight discolorations kind of to the lower left of where our target reticle is, which I think are ore. And over there is in the sun. And it's hard to tell because I'm going down. Hopefully that the sun is coming towards us and not going away from us. And we'll be in the sun when we land. I don't know. I don't have a clock for Mars. But that looks like a good spot. Fortunately, I can't really read the altimeter because of the snow, so we're 75 somethings. Probably 7,500. Gravity is going up. I forget what it... I think it's like 0.9 G on Mars. So that'll be a good indicator. Okay. So, 5,500 meters. Let's nose down a little bit so we can glide in forward. Keep on coming in. Okay. At 2,500, I'm going to nose up. That's now. So this should slow us. It should slow us. I'd like it to slow us. Oh, we're coming in hot. Okay, we're slowing a bit. Oh, what's our Oh, I don't love our altimeter right now. Come on, baby. Oh, okay. Okay, we've made it. That was a little, I kind of was afraid that we were about to smash it into the ground. I thought about doing that as a way to make this next session more interesting. But I didn't really want to spend 18 episodes on Mars, so, good thing the decision almost was made for me. Oh? Well. So that's not good. That corrupt horsefly drone. Though, in some ways that's good. That's one of the things that was supposed to kill us in space. It being here is bad for us. Okay. It might not be able to fly on Mars. Well, watch what happens. I guess it was trailing us and followed us in. Our turrets are on. Set. No, I don't think it's gonna... I think it's crashing. Yeah. No, you can see... I think you can see the little explosion over there. It's still exploding a little bit. Okay. Well, that's good. Let's see... Oh. Atmospherics do not work enough to keep us held up here. So silver and gold is good. Well, let's see. I think this little corner looks nice. Seems relatively flat. Close to some resources. Yeah. And if we have to travel out a little bit to get what we need, that's okay. Yeah, not super flat, but I think it's about as good as we'll get up here. Let's move over here a little. Maybe over here. Kind of hard to tell where the ground is flattest. Especially with this dust cloud. That'll do for me. Okay. Here we are. Mars. So, kick off thrusters, lock the landing gear. Yeah. Pretty nice place. The sun is setting. So now we know. We will spend our first night on the red planet. But... Oh. Actually, no. What I should do... instead of just hopping off all unceremoniously... I've got an elevator to use. Go through our lovely, if a little bit dull and gray, living area. Fill up on things, just because we might need them. Okay. We descend onto the red planet. Yes. Okay. This is... whoops. Okay. Small step for man, giant leap for mankind. We did it. Okay, I guess I don't get to take the elevator back up. But... here we are. Ooh boy. Pretty desolate. Huh. Well, I guess our first order of business here is to get to work. So what do we need? This will be a little bit more expedited than previously because we have an entire ship full of garbage to turn into base. So we'll want to Probably right on the corner of the ice, we want to build our, at least fuel refinery, so that we can have a big crane arm, sort of like at the other refinery, to go out into the ice. So this will probably be where the base begins. I should get some things. Do I have a bottle? Can't actually recall. I could search for it. Okay, oxygen bottle. Oh, and the hydrogen bottle is empty. Well, we can fix that. Not by doing that. It's tank 30. And then... where is it? Oh, it's going up. I guess our... well, that one's on. Oxygen generator. It's not on, but it could be. Might as well kick that on so that we can, process stuff. I don't know... that is going up. That one's going up slowly. We're getting... we're getting stuff from somewhere. That's mysterious. My guess is the miner is slowly filling? Because it's got... yes, so it's refining some of its ice. Then we have a bunch more. Okay, well that works out. I don't need $500. I need steel. Ooh, that's not actually a ton of steel. How much iron? Did I bring all of it? Yes. Let's just go ahead and make 1,000 steel plates. Just for fun. Then right over here. Oh, that color won't do. Defaults. It was battered. Or maybe none. Let's do... yeah. A sandy orange. Kind of fit in with the scenery. And... got an idea. So this is going to be just kind of the edge for the arm for ice mining. So let's do... we'll make it like a little dock. This is... again, I forget how tricky it is to rotate blocks when I can't see the key. Yeah, so... so that's something. It's a little... this whole thing's on a bit of a slope, which isn't great. So that'll be there. I think I have a fun idea for how I'm gonna do this place. So we'll do 5 across. I'm gonna make it sort of a big dome. Probably not an actual dome. Because those are kind of difficult. Though we do have the blocks to make it happen now. But Is this still... Yeah, I guess this is still the way you do it. Trying to... Yeah, I don't think we have any better blocks for making this happen. Bop, 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 and... Bop, bop, bop. So, if I go up, you use a bit of imagination, you can kind of see this curve. So, I'll make this whole thing like a big old circle. Ooh, I could even maybe have it glass covered, or partially glass covered. That could be fun. And then maybe if I have... So I can have this one, then maybe another dome somewhere else. And then maybe a landing pad. All piped up. I think that'll be fun. Oh. Those fellas have shown up again. This place will probably get pretty busy with stuff around, so I will have to get figuring on defense here before too long. But I'll go ahead and complete this big circle here. There'd be no reason for them to want to blow that up, right? Okay. So that's a big old circle. So it looks like a turtle without legs. That's gonna be... I maybe didn't think about the radius, the actual size this thing would become while I was building it. 'Cause that's pretty hefty. That's quite big. I don't know if I'll need another dome. Granted, you know, maybe just one dome is all you need. Though I kind of wanted little glass tunnels. Well, let's think. Okay. So this area I can have nice and open, too. Sort of running out of power a bit. So I could have... This could become the main storage and factory dome. Then I'll have a living dome off to one side. Maybe a garage dome for a little rover.
Energy critical.
Yeah, I think that could work. This will be the main area, and I'll just have a bunch of empty space around it. Because I can put everything... I think what I'll do... So my trick for these types of buildings... that I've sort of learned... I like to use half armor for the floor, where it's not exposed. Because it's cheaper. It gives kind of the same look and the same functionality. And if you're not going to see the bottom, it doesn't really matter that it doesn't go all the way down. Or that you won't be able to build stuff underneath it. So, I guess I'll kind of cover this up. And I'd originally thought, because that over there is so much lower, that I could put some stuff below the ground. But I think I'll just have everything up on this surface level. Maybe I'll have a door that drops down below so you can exit on ground level. But if I have all this space to fill, I can fill it all up with all my oxygen, hydrogen tanks, all my cargo storage, and all the fuel and general refining and assembling stuff, along with maybe a section for power.
No energy.
Oops. That's not ideal. Ow. Okay. Here's a chair. Get some power back. I forgot that you freeze to death here. At some point, I want to go check out that horsefly drone that crashed. See what's there and what's salvageable. Maybe I'd do that real quick. I should go out and make a GPS. Do it right here for, new Mars Base 1. Just in case this one explodes and we have to find a new one. Okay. Now I could just kind of fly over there on foot. Maybe that's what I'll do. I've got fuel tanks and whatnot. Dump off all our bits. Get my gun out here. And yeah, let's see. I don't want to get too close because the thing may still have a turret even if it crashed. It still has power because I can still see its marker, so I should have checked. Okay, I've got a bit. Oh, it's on the ground there. It's kind of just some blurs over there. That'll be the easiest way to tell. Okay, I'm within gun range and I'm not getting shot, so let's continue approaching. I don't know what these things can do. I guess this kind of makes it a little easier. We are in my terrain instead of its for the first encounter, but it's also on a big ol' ore field. Have to see what's under there. We do have our silver and gold area. That'll be another thing to do. I guess I'll have to figure out how I want to... I don't think I want to build stationary drill rigs. Well, we'll talk about this later, though. Me getting distracted as I approach the enemy. It looks pretty dead, if I were to assume. It doesn't seem to be twitching much. I think I'm approaching from the side, maybe, as well. My fear, if it has fixed weapons, if it can still rotate itself, it could still wheel around and try and shoot me with a fixed gun. It's looking pretty dead. In fact, I don't even think... Yeah, it's not got anything left. Okay. Groovy. Ooh. Did give me some uranium, though, and there were some more reactors. Okay. It's got a lot of stuff on me. Well, this'll be a pretty good haul. With ion thrust, which is something I have not had the luxury of having much of. Yeah. Like so many situations, my first encounter with the enemy has been it crashing into the ground and me grinding it up afterward. Let's focus on the goodies. Oh, it does have some atmospheric thrust. So I guess in theory it could probably operate. Maybe it doesn't have any down or much down? I don't know. That's strange. Maybe they're just for show. Leave those. Dang. Unfortunately, I wonder... I think I may build a small little rover. Little Mars buggy. See if I can use that Because I don't want to have to make a bunch of trips just flying over to that thing. So let's see, we should have more than enough stuff to make a quick little car. So some of those, one of those. And it could even be reactor powered because of all the uranium that thing had. But we'll go with battery. Oh, and I need the bits for this. Can I access? No, too high. We'll build it over here, near where I have... I don't want gravity components. Near where I have access to cargo. There we go. Good enough. Okay, that looks like a car. Yeah. Needs to be welded, but I think that'll do nicely. Get rid of this line. Bing. Okay. Now we weld. Don't know why I brought the recording back, because just to weld it up now. Back soon. Okay. Now this is a more reasonable time to bring it back. That's looking like a real automobile. Still up on a stick, but... yeah. I think that'll do. Okay. So... last couple things. Want to have an antenna and an ore detector. We'll need the bits for those. Then... oh, I didn't... I should have maybe given enough room for a large cargo. And I guess I could if I could just remove this back area completely, and that kind of kills the appearance. Also kills my ability to place that, not having an interior plate. Do I have any naughty? No. Take the stuff for one of those, so we can just pop it in. There we go. I may not build it yet, but we'll eventually have an area there for our connector, so we can connect up to things. Get those things out. Yes. And yes. Okay. Let's do just a quick paint job. Up here on the bumpers. Let's do... yeah, some racing stripes on the hood. Won't fully flow back because I can't really make it, but I think that looks sporty enough. Doesn't have a windscreen, but that shouldn't be an issue. Unfortunately, one thing I don't... so I'm using the little car cockpits, which work great for little cars. The downside is they are 1.5 blocks tall. There's not really a good way, because we don't have... well, I mean, we don't have half of a glass pane. It wouldn't work anyway with how blocks work. There's not a great way to give yourself a windshield at the height you'd want it. Because you'd want it to be kind of right where the edge of the console ends. There's not really a way to do that. So, we'll just go windscreenless. It kind of fits, because it's sort of a dune buggy type of vehicle. And feels only right to have brake lights, though the DLC brake lights would be the best option here. We could do these maybe. Take out, I think it literally is just, yeah, 2 construction components, but that's fine. I want you to be sand colored. And also welded, that's important. I was going to try and go in and adjust the settings of them. Red, radius down, intensity up. No offset. That should be good. Don't need to blink. Make this slightly more yellowed.
Fuel low.
200. Whoops. That's a problem. That's okay. So it should go to... Nope, where did you go? There you are. Okay. I guess if I were smart, I would have put things like a O2H2 generator on this thing as well. Or an enclosed cockpit. I could have designed anything other than an open dune buggy for
Energy
a
low.
foreign planet with no atmosphere. But you know what? That's fine. That's what the suits are for, right? Let's get in. Take the long way around to get back and charge up our power and whatnot. There we go. Okay. So, we should be ready, though. We hop on out of here. Eh? Try not to fall through the engine. Though it would have put us right next to the car, which would have been nice. Okay. So. Take off that. She's a little tall, but that's fine. Plenty of ground clearance. I think we're ready to roll. Oh, it looks good. Oh, real quick though. Yeah, so the 7s should be, you can tell how many iterations I had to go through, because this is the 7th and 8th wheel placed on this grid respectively. So we'll just rename them so in the future it's easier to adjust. Rear and right. Rear. Doesn't matter too much to group them because they're only 4 wheels. Turn steering off on you. Steering is on. I think I'll leave the strength low because we have so much height, it doesn't really matter. Maybe we'll up the rears 10. Give it a slightly mean stance. Well, let's test it. Ooh. Kicks around a bit. Oop, and very easy to roll, potentially. And brakes are... Okay, this thing's wily. Good thing I tested it, huh? So what we're gonna do... Yeah, we'll turn propulsion off and braking off on the front. So what this'll do, one, it should lower the power coming through, so we won't go as fast. Oh, it still likes to roll. But the braking means brakes are slower, but they do not flip us forward onto our nose, which is not generally what you want. Uh, what else can I do? So the issue, because so much of the weight is so high up, that's why it likes to roll over sideways on us. So, trying to think. Unfortunately, with how I've designed it, there's not a convenient way to lower it down. I guess we can just maybe drop the power to 50. See how that handles. Put our wheel friction up to 80. I guess I could drop the height offset a bit. We lose a bit of the value of our, well, height. We lose some of our ground clearance, but we still have a good bit of ground clearance in between. It's just kind of where the axles are that's low, which in theory shouldn't hit the ground very often. So let's... I'm going to set all the wheels to have a strength of 10. Maybe 15. Which will hopefully help keep it rolling, keep the body roll down. Still rollable, but I think that'll do. So now, last but not least, handbrake. Have it set up a group for the lights. Show terminal off. And okay. So that's pretty good. Now, crud, I had a thought in my head and it's gone away. Yeah, well. I think we should be good to go. Yeah. So let's head over. Make sure that we have emptied ourselves of things. Yes. Okay, now... Oh. Now... Let's go salvage that drone. Oh, that was my thought. I have to think of a name for this thing. Also figure out why it wants so hard to pull right. That's kind of a pain. Having to constantly put left in a little bit. Maybe it's because we're on a hill. Let's see if it straightens out a bit. Nope. That's a bummer. And it looked so cool, too. I was hoping this thing would perform like a magical machine. It's kind of just a wiggly little bumpy thing. Yeah, well. Get what you get, I guess. It was designed in 20 minutes, so... Okay. Now, we take all the goodies off of you. And it makes up for the goodies it took to build the vehicle. This is all, yeah, all light armor. Nothing of particular value. Oh, there is some gold under us, though. Dump those in the back. Think it's a little screen. I keep getting the reputation dropping warning. I gotta say, I have a funny feeling that they already didn't like me very much. Losing my reputation now isn't really that big of a bother. Okay. Now, these, I want to do that. Yeah, so I can get all their good uranium out. I may put a little jump starter generator on the I guess we'll call it the dune buggy. Sounds good. I think Mars has dunes. Dune buggy is, I guess, not a very inspired name, but if we were on the moon, it could be the moon buggy. It's a good. Yeah, dune buggy's what's gonna roll off the tongue. So. Oh. Dune buggy. I'll have it to show name. Just for fun, we'll boost the radius on that a bit. And apparently it's now detecting so far beyond the gold that it can't see it anymore. Yeah, well. Yeah. Okay. So that's been pretty well salvaged. Where would be a good spot for a jump start reactor? So the key with a jump start reactor is you need it to be somewhere where you can access it. Maybe right here in between the seats. So the whole idea of one is you take a little bit of uranium, pop it in there, and it's enough to get things running so that you can get it fueled up again. So, I've not used a reactor in a while. Yeah. So got our emergency reactor. There. And then that'll go there. And everything else goes away. Ore detector range up. And then just... I do wish there was a version of this that didn't have the steering wheel, because it kind of seems odd to have two steering wheels, but I don't know. Let you use whichever you wish. Whichever orientation works best for you. Okay. And this thing's not the most useful vehicle to operate. Let's see. An idea. Is it possible? No, heights are all the same. Set the strength to 0. And then set it on all of them to 10. Okay. Friction. Gonna set to 0. And then on all of them to 80. And just to check, yep. 80, 10. 80, 10. Height offset. All the way up. Then, not -10, -0.1, 10 centimeters off the ground. Okay. Now all the wheels should be the same height and have everything the same. So, forward. 9, it pulls hard to the right. I didn't, like, flip one wheel. Huh. It's kind of a pain. Let's see what's in this boulder while we're here. Some nickel. Let me try... So if I turn propulsion on these... Power to 50... Power to 50. That reels... Oh, that could be part of the problem. Why is that wheel able to spin? It's like it's off the ground. So if we increase our height offset, it can still spin. Oh no, it's because the front ones don't break. Well, let's see. Ooh. Too much power with all 4 wheels. Set that power. Power to 0. Set it to 20. Still pulls a bit, but a little better. I'll go with this. This should be good enough for what we need. Huh. Maybe part of the issue is the thing's just not heavy enough. That can with light vehicles and Space Engineers. The wheels don't fully know what to do. They kind of... Essentially, they have too much power, even with low power settings. They're just spinning too quickly, and the physics freaks out a bit. So... I don't know. Something odd. I can get it up on 2 wheels quite easily, which isn't quite what you want. So, pretty good vehicle, I suppose. Get all this good stuff out. And then, guess that should be a pretty good spot to call the episode. I don't know quite how much I'll have left after cutting stuff, but we'll find out later. So, see if we can get a aerial view. Yeah. So we've got the beginnings of our little base. I may work on that a little bit off camera just so that, we don't have to film all the welding. Though I can also just edit the welding out, I suppose. So there's that. We are here, which was good. We've got a little rover. We do have the mining ship, so if we need some materials, we can hunt them out with the rover and then go mine them with the mining ship pretty easily. So yeah. I think as the sun rises here, this glorious Martian day, that might make a good thumbnail. It's kind of got in thirds, photo talk. Either way, that'll be it for today. Thank you for watching. Be back same time, same place next week, so I hope to see you then. Bye-bye!